Hello everyone. So today we are going to talk about integration of Paytm payment gateway with Node.js. So we will also go through some code. So for that, let's go with this. So first of all, we need to create a directory. So for this, I'm renaming it as Node Paytm integration. So once it's created, we will enter into that directory with the help of cd. So once it is done, we will initialize our repository. So for that we have npm init. It asks you for a couple of options, like if you want to put some description, who is the author of this, any GitHub repository where you want to put this code if there is any existing one. So what is the entry point, index.js. You can just keep it like enter if you don't want to change anything. So now you can see it has created package.json file. So I'm just opening it in Sublime. So now let's see, we have this folder with a file called package.json. So now we will go to github.com and we will go for the Paytm payments. We will search for it from Google, you will get it. So for now we are going for taking one module which is called Paytm web sample kit Node.js. Remember this module name. So we will clone it now. So I am logged out, so I'm just taking the https one to clone it. So I'll just use a command git clone and that https URL. So now once it will be cloned, we will be using this repository for creating a checksum. I'll just let you know in a while. So now we can see we have this repository cloned here in our repository. So now first of all we are creating index.js file, which is the entry page for our module or the repository. So let's go. So now we will rename our cloned repository. So I'm renaming it as normal Paytm. So now I'm going to my index.js file where I'll be writing some code to make my server up. So for that let's go step by step what all we will be doing in this index.js file. So first of all, I'm going to require Express module because I'm using Express framework here. So for that, constant express equals to require the module name, which is Express. So also I haven't installed Express yet. So what I'll do is I'll quickly go to the terminal and install Express. So npm I express. I is the short form for install. So meanwhile, while my Express is installing, what I can do is I can continue my code in my index.js file. So now I am requiring this Express. So now this is constant app equals to Express. So after this, what I need to do is I need two things. First of all, one is I need port number on which I'll be running this service, and after that I'll listen this Express, which will be like I'll just walk you through that. So I'm just writing here variable port equals to process.environment.port, or by default the port value. So maybe like if you want to change the port number, you can write port equals to whatever port number you want to run from the terminal. So otherwise by default the terminal the port would be 3003. So now I'm just writing the code for it where I'm writing app.listen, the port number I have mentioned and the function. So once it's listening, it will console like the service is up on the port number, whatever given port number would be there. If it's given something different from the process environment, like from the terminal, it would be the first one that, otherwise the default one, which is 3003. So it will be running on the 3003 by default. So now I'm going to create a routes folder inside which I'll be keeping the endpoints which will be hit upon this service. So inside this routes folder, I'm creating index.js file in which I'll be keeping all the routes or the endpoints for this service. So like currently we are creating for like processing the payments, like do maybe later on we want to cancel the payment or something like that, we can add on into this. So right now I'm creating a checksum variable in which I'm requiring the checksum which is inside this Paytm folder which we had cloned earlier from their repository. So inside this Paytm we have a checksum folder inside which we have a checksum file which has two functions. One is to generate checksum and there is one more which is to validate the checksum. So I'm going to use here only the generate checksum from this one. So now it's required. So now we will go ahead and we'll go to the index file. So once route is created, I'll require that routes here, because once the service is up, the routes has to be up as well. So to get it connected, what I'm doing here, the routes is directly here in this service only, so I'm just requiring it, giving the path. So index is outside, so I'll go /routes. That's it. Along with it I'll write app. So with this app, this route has to be up while the service is up. So now we will go to the index file of routes. So before this I'll create a file called config.js where I'll be keeping some of the credentials, like the merchant ID, customer phone number, email, and some other credentials. I'll just let you know after a while. So I'm just creating the file module.export from where I'm just like forwarding the credentials from this file. So I'll not let you know all the details of this page from here. That's why I'm just keeping into the separate file just for the piece of the security for myself. So there are a couple of details like order ID, merchant ID, some callback URLs, and some other such files. So now if we come back to routes.index, we will be doing two things here. One is we are keeping a port number, and second will be we will be writing our get call for the payments. So for that, first of all, I am writing a port number. Again the same process, we are taking it either from the process.environment or the by default port number. So I'll just cross check it with my index.js. It's 3003, so I'll just copy the same one here. So now port number is by default or 3003. So I'll just make it like module.exports. So before that, let's go through the Paytm website. So for that we need to go to the business.paytm.com first of all, and there we have a Paytm-gateway. So that is the whole URL. So once we land up here in this page, we will go ahead. You will have to log in. I have been logged out, so again I need to log in here, the email and the password. So you get couple of test API details. This is for the staging environment, test merchant ID, website, industry type, and such things. So once you go to the developer APIs, you need to go to the standard checkout process, because we are going to checkout. Checkout is when the payment happens. So it is just giving the overview like how it will be visible on the web or the mobile. So it's by default it's showing how it will be in the web page, what will be the display type. So after that it is giving you the details, what are the step-by-step procedure to do that checkout, to pay something. So all these things, like once you pay the order, like for the order, what HTML body should be there, what the checksum should be there, how to create that, and then we will get all these values which we need to pass as parameters in our request. So this is all what we are going to pass, which was given earlier to us in the previous page I just showed you. And after this, now this is the sample node code. This is if you even like just want to copy paste from here, you can just directly copy paste into your index.js file as well. You can write there and just run it if you want a temporary run, but if you want to maintain a code, you can just keep it into the separate files on the routes. So it is also using the checksum library.generateCheck function, which we have just imported after taking their repository clone. So this is how this website has all the details. So now we are coming back to our code. So module.exports. So inside this we will be writing our get call. So module.exports, inside this I'll be writing my app, and then inside this what I'll do, I'll write my get call. So for that, app.get, and inside this I'll be writing my endpoint. So Paytm payment would be good, I think. Yeah, so for now you can keep it anything, because whatever you will be providing, on that only you will be hitting later on. So I'm keeping it like a Paytm payment for now, and after this I'll be writing the request and the response thing here. So the request and the response, and then I'll write my whole function here. So for that I need to pass all the parameters I just shown you earlier. So all those details step by step we have seen. So for that, let's create a variable let params equals to an empty object, and then I can enter all those parameter values which I have got from that page for my like login account. So first of all, let's say params dot merchant id, which was capital MID. Note that all the parameters are in the caps from their side. So for that I have already saved everything in my config.js, so I'm just importing that here because it's exported from that page. So constant config details equals to config file I'll be requiring here, so that I can use all those parameters which I have kept there and use those values here. So there will be couple of values which I'll be using. So all the parameters, you can see what all are the mandatory parameters. So order ID, merchant ID, and so on. You'll get all this is transaction amount, customer number, customer email, and couple of other parameters which are mandatory would be written here. So after this I'll be doing here the same process. So I'm just taking config details dot merchant underscore id, because that is my key name in that file. So likewise I'll be providing all the values of the parameters here. So now similarly we'll be adding all the parameters, and after this we'll be using this checksum library function, which we will be using for the generating checksum. After this I'm using this staging URL currently. You can use the production one once staging is successful. It was written just below this. So I'm just copy pasting the staging URL, and after this let's paste the same body which they have already given. So why to rewrite? So just copying the same one. So yeah, copied. Now pasting the same here. I need to change the parameter name. It's Paytm params given here, which in my case I have kept params, so that I need to change here in this input, because it's in the loop. Every parameter has to be inserted this input value, and after this one another input is there in the line number 36, where the name should be checksum hash and the value would be checksum, whatever checksum we are generating, that one. So if you see the generate checksum function, the parameters are there. One merchant key has to be entered there, and then it's a callback function. So now I'll be just checking like if the express is installed or not. I think it's already installed, so it's installed, it will be updating it. Yeah, so it's updated now. So after this, what I can do is yeah, so let's just start it. Okay, so I don't have npm start written in my scripts, so test is there, but I'm not testing it. I need to run it, so I'll write start, and inside that I'll pass my command, which will be node index.js, which is my starting of this repository. So node index.js in the codes to save it now, and then after that I need to run it back. So yeah, going back to my code terminal, so just starting it. Got the error, cannot find module config. Okay, got it. So going back to the routes, so actually config is outside, so I need to put one more to go back to the outside of this folder, because routes.index is inside. So run it again. So yeah, my server is running at 3003. Now let's just run it at localhost. So I'll be entering the Paytm payment and URL we have mentioned here. So hyphen Paytm payment, it will refresh us to their staging place. So here we can see the transaction ID or amount we have entered there in our config file, and the phone number with which we will be proceeding. We have also given this as a customer mobile number from our config file. So once we proceed this, they'll ask us for the OTP on this given mobile number, and once it's verified, the amount would be deducted from this particular phone number and account number from the Paytm. So I hope you like this one. Please like, comment and subscribe this channel to get some more such videos. Thank you.